Hi there, this is Jill coming to you from the Farmstead Kitchen at Baker's Green Acres. I have been listening to some videos lately, some podcasts and such, and the thing that amazed me on the one I was listening to was there was some Ayurvedic teachers, and they were talking about seasonal eating, and they were talking about the different things that go with Ayurvedic practices and food and eating, and Ayurveda is very much about living with seasons and times and how the world works together in sync and all of this stuff. But they were amazed talking about Ayurvedic food practices and ways you should eat, and the concept of eating within seasons, though. What do you do? So that surprised me, and I thought, well, maybe other people are, you know, in the times of supermarkets like we're in, it's easy to not think about the seasons. You can get tomatoes anytime. You get strawberries in January and February, and they're not very good, but you can get them. So you go to the supermarket near you. We've got Myers and Aldi's, and they're great, but they give you things that are not in season. They're not fresh. They've traveled a long ways. They haven't been picked ripe a lot of times. Tomatoes, they pick them underripe and they let them ripen on the way, thereby decreasing their nutritional value and their flavor and all the things that make a tomato really a great tomato. Which, by the way, right now is the time to start getting them. They're at farmers markets all over, and any place you can get fresh local food, tomatoes are it right now. Corn on the cob's just coming in here, just starting. This is the season. I'm going to show you some of the things that I got out of my garden. I'm going to make a soup tonight. Soup is one of those things that's incredibly easy. It's totally flexible with whatever you've got, and it's really, really good for you. Even in these warmer days of summer, although today's not so warm, we're in a cold kind of summer streak here in northern Michigan, but it's still, soup's a great thing for you. I'm going to show you some of the things that I got out of my garden and the CSA garden of some friends that I'm kind of sourcing from this year too, since I did a small garden. Onions, these are actually, I chopped them up for lunch. We had taco salad, so I'm going to put those in our soup. We've got garlic. This is actually a little, this one is almost cured. It needs to sit for 2 weeks after they dig it. Their garlic is just late July is the time to dig it. So between my sister and another friend, we've got some garlic, and it's really good out of the garden. Garlic scapes, they grow up, the garlic sends a shoot up, and this is what it makes. And it kind of curls around, and they usually want to take it off in order to get a better head of garlic. We have wax beans. I have kale. I only brought one kind of kale in from my garden because that's all I could find among all the squash today, but that's okay. Here in this pile of herbs, looks like I got a shadow there. I've got basil, I've got some oregano, and some parsley. So, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to prepare all of these to throw them in our soup. Because fresh herbs, they're everything. I love fresh herbs. Of course, this is northern Michigan, and unless you're good at indoor plants, which I am not, you know, fresh herbs are a timely thing. That's part of summer. I have got crookneck summer squash in my garden coming out my ears because that's all I planted. This is a bigger one. Tomorrow, we're going to slice it and fry it up like fried green tomatoes. That is so good. But for tonight, I'm going to use these smaller ones because they have a tender skin. The bigger ones are tough, and with cooking, they soften up, but these little ones are better. I prefer them for cooking. And then I have 3 kinds of radishes here. This one is a small daikon radish. You can see, you know, real food isn't perfect. This one, it's got some bug damage in the top there. I'll just trim that off. The rest of it's good. This is a Spanish black radish. They are a really more pungent, bitter kind of radish. They're supposed to be a really good storage radish. They have a lot of nutritional and therefore healing properties. So we'll cut this one open. I'm concerned it might be a little woody because the stem was putting up some flowers for seed, but we'll see what's going on in it. This little fella, is a white icicle radish. My favorite radishes, I don't care for the cherry bells, are white icicle and French breakfast. There's a world of radishes out there. Those little red ones, that's just one kind. So if you don't like radishes, probably it's because you just haven't tried other varieties. The other thing about radishes is I have come to like them better raw, especially now that I've tried these other varieties, but I cook with them a lot. So we're going to put some of these in our soup. And once you cook them, it takes a lot of the heat out. So it's really good. All right, that's my vegetable ingredients. I'm going to clear the deck here a little bit. My base for this is some turkey stock that I made. And I had turkey necks, which I'm going to fish out here. I had to warm my broth up, so they're a little warm. I also threw in there a turkey gizzard, a few of them, because this is great meat, gizzards are. There's a heart. I'll confess I didn't do anything with the turkey liver. It's not my family's favorite, and right now I'm finding it doesn't agree with me too much, so I skipped it. But that's okay. I have a dog that's struggling a little bit, so I gave it to her, and she was appreciative. Okay, so what I'm going to do with these gizzards is just dice them up, throw them back in the stock pot. And we may just do a few, so I got a lot more in there than I thought I did. Same with the hearts. And I have extra stock in case I need it. One of the things that I've been learning is that in addition to eating good healthy food, when you eat is important. You know, there's a natural rhythm to everything. You know about the rhythms of, the sun comes up, you got midday, you got evening, the seasons have cycles. Everything, that's kind of just how nature was designed. So, one of the things that is true about us as humans is that our strongest digestive times are from about 10 to 2. 10 o'clock in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. So your heaviest meal, and especially most of your protein, should be eaten for breakfast and lunch. Supper should be lighter and a little bit earlier so that you have plenty of time to have it digested before you go to bed. When you go to bed, your body wants to rest. It doesn't want to be digesting food. It doesn't want to have to be figuring out what to do with it. It wants to rest, and it wants to do the job of house cleaning. That's when it really goes through the systems of your body and tidies everything up and gets everything ready to go for the next day. Your day actually starts in the evening. Here in the West, we think, oh, 12 a.m., that's when the day starts, at midnight. Or when I get up in the morning, that's when the day starts. Not true. For your body, the day starts in the evening. What you put into it at night and when you put it in determines a lot of the tone for your next day. So that's why we're having a lighter supper. We're just having soup. We might have some bread with it, depending on if anybody gets inspired. So there, I just took the neck pieces off the bone. I don't need all of this neck, so I'm going to save it for another day. And I'll actually just take it off the bone a little bit later here. There's my knife. I'll show you with the gizzards here. I'm just going to dice these up and throw these in. When I boiled them, they've got a tough membrane on the inside. This gizzard is actually the stomach of the bird. So it's got a fairly tough membrane on the inside here. But when you parboil it until it's soft, that membrane gets really nice and soft, and there's a lot of good stuff. This is an organ meat, so it's a very nutritionally dense meat. Therefore, the kids don't always like it. So don't tell them I'm throwing it in here. Because they don't watch my videos anyway. They watch me do this in person. They don't need to see it on video. Okay, same with the hearts. Again, I'm just going to chop them up, toss them in the pot. And you can see I've got plenty of meat left over here for another day. So it's all good. Okay, I'm going to get another cutting board here and set this off to the side. Alright, now we're going to get our vegetables ready. Here we go. Alright, I'm going to add a little more broth to this. This is some turkey broth that I made last fall and I just froze it. So it's going to go in the pot. I'm going to put some of my heavier vegetables in first, like my roots, and my beans. And then I'll put the lighter things like the herbs and the kale in. Alright, beans, because I'm going to put these on the stove then to start cooking. These are easy to do. You can see there's a stem end and a tail end. You can actually even leave the tail end on. Won't hurt you, but usually you want to take them off. So I'm just going to snip them off. I already did these other beans. And then it's real easy. Take the pile. I've got my big knife. I'm just going to slice through them. Just like so. I've got nice bite-sized pieces. If I see one that kind of got crooked and escaped, I'm just going to snap them. There we go. Alright, there's those. I'm going to throw some of my onions in at this point too because they add a lot of flavor to this broth and I want them to cook nice and soft. I have a couple people that are averse to onions. We want to hide them. Alright, I'm also going to do my garlic now. Garlic, I'm going to take them, squash them with my knife, and now they peel pretty easy. I'm not going to chop these up into fine pieces. They're going to cook and get soft, so there's no need to make them super small because their flavor, a lot of their flavor is going to get dispersed into the soup. I'm only doing 2 of these. I like lots of garlic. I cook with a lot of garlic. See, I just sliced them up like that, and in they go. They're going to cook down. I'm also going to put these scapes in right now because these are pretty tough little buggers. I'm going to look up a recipe to make pesto out of most of what I got, but I'm going to throw these in for our soup tonight. See, I'm getting them small, but not too small, because they're going to cook tender, so they'll be good. Alright. Alright. Let's do this daikon. I'm just going to cut this whole part that's the bugs got out. I'm going to take a little more, because you can see there's a little more damage there. Trim it. It's okay. I'm just going to dice it, throw it in. I find that the things that are in season are oftentimes good for you in that season. There's a reason. There's a reason dandelion greens are up first, and they're a great spring green. Same with leeks. They're cleaners, and they help your system purge from the winter. Now in August, we have all these great vegetables. You want to be like the deer and the bear and enjoy the heck out of them, because that'll help your system be strong, have you a good immune system going into winter again. Alright, yep, radishes are not just for salads anymore. I stir fry them, I put them in stews, soups, you name it. Alright, lost my helper. Okay, I've got those on the stove. They're going to get soft here. Alright, I'm going to do the same with these and just dice them up and throw them in. For the sake of time here, time being the herb I lack, but that's okay. I'm going to show you how to do the herbs and the kale. Okay, I washed and rinsed these off. I'm going to take the leaves off the stems, especially the oregano. If you get thyme, it looks a lot the same except a lot really small leaves. My thyme is super small, and so I just have been letting it grow. I'm going to do that with the oregano and with the basil. And the parsley. Anything basil with birds, you can't beat it. And parsley is a good all-purpose herb, goes with everything. Parsley is superb for digestion. I read that when I was pregnant with one of the kids, and I had fresh parsley in the garden. And sure enough, for morning sickness, I would just go out and eat a few leaves. Well, and you know, morning sickness doesn't happen just in the morning, but a few leaves of parsley really helped. It's good for your digestion, and it's really rich in a lot of vitamins, and it really helps settle my stomach there. It's a good digestive aid. Alright, I'm going to roll these all into a ball, like so. Now, you notice I keep my fingers like this, so I don't take the end off my finger. I might trim my knuckle, which I have done before, because I'm kind of that way. But I won't take the end off my finger at any rate. And a really true chef could show you that much better, but you know, it works. Now these don't have to be in little tiny itty bitty pieces. They're fine just like that. They're going to cook. They taste great. When I make broth for breakfast, I throw herbs in like that, and it's so good. They eat so great. Okay, kale. Kale, most kale, unless you get really itty bitty baby inside leaves, has this big spine on it. Best way to do it, pull the leaf off that spine. Now the kale, I'm not going to throw that in until, like, I call everybody for supper. And it'll sit there and just cook. It cooks in the cool soup, or it's hot, but it's not boiling. And that's just about right. I'm going to throw the herbs in fairly soon so that they really season the broth. Those little summer squashes, they don't need to cook as long, so I'll throw them and the herbs in at the same time. Alright, this is going to cook down to almost nothing in my soup. But there, I've got it, and I'm just going to chop it. By the time it wilts down, it won't look like near as much in the soup. So, there you go. That's all ready to go. Not yet, though. We're going to cook the other vegetables. When they get about halfway through, I'll add the herbs and the summer squash. And then just about the time I call everybody for supper, because it all takes them a while to wash their hands and get in, I'll throw that in and just let it steam and kind of wilt down. And that's going to be our soup. That's our dinner tonight, our light dinner. I know that there will be desserts and such later, but at least the bulk of their meal and digestion will be done by the time they go to bed. So hopefully they sleep better, They wake up perkier and ready to go in the morning. And we've used local, in-season vegetables. Remember to support your local farmers. It's important. They return the money to your local economy. You know, you spend your money at Walmart or Aldi's or Meijer's or Kroger, and that money goes to the corporate offices. So as much local as you can support, it's a good thing. And this is Jill coming to you from the Baker's Green Acres Farmstead Kitchen. Have a good night.